So it's been a day. Started off with I'm laying in the bed and I flip the covers back and I feel something crawling on my shoulder. So what do you do? Or not, actually not crawling. It was just kind of laying, just there, and so I went to go pick it off, and all of a sudden my thumb started hurting, and I'm like, and my husband's like, what? And I said, something bit me. And he said, what? And I said, something bit me. And I'm holding my thumb up like this, and then he goes, holy shit, that's a wasp. Where the fuck a wasp came from, and why did it crawl in my bed? Listen, I don't go busting up into bugs' house while they come busting up into mine. Then I get up and start my period. Yeah, of course. And then I open TikTok. And then here we are. Look, I can't spell again. And you dig everything in this right, dear God. So again, wrong. Most nuclear power plants only need 5 to 10% enriched uranium for fuel. Not 60. Oh my God. 60% enriched uranium is primarily a short technical step away from 90% weapons grade. 90%. I do believe I mentioned that in my other video, that you needed at least 90% to make that 60% just wasn't enough. Right? Okay, did believe I mentioned that. Now remember that you said fuel here. Okay, just remember that. While most civilian power plants, civilians, we're talking little bitty power plants, okay, that maybe do a city or a parish or county or, that kind of a thing. Not a country or not a military thing, right? Okay. Most civilians, they only need about 3 to 5%. Okay, cool. 60% is classified as highly enriched uranium, or HEU, often used to produce naval fuel. Naval fuel? Iran does have a navy. So it seems common sense would tell you that if Iran has a navy, then Iran needs 60% uranium that is needed, necessary, and used for naval fuel. Okay. Fuel research reactors. So basically, a reactor is like a big nuclear plant. And if the government, not civilians, are making a big nuclear power plant to maybe, I don't know, make it more efficient to desalinate their water, or help provide power for the entire country, for all we know. They only got like 93 million people who live in Iran. It would probably be a lot easier to take 60% uranium and power the entire country and your desalination process for a much less price and less damaging to the environment. Or in the case of Iran, to signal technical capability for weapon development. So basically what that tells us is that, yeah, they wanted to. They could technically, because it's a lot easier to get it from 60 to 90 than it is from 0 to 60. Okay, getting it from 0 to 60 to where you can actually use it is hard. Okay, but they managed to do that. But they only stopped at 60. They didn't continue. They could have. They have the capabilities too, but they haven't. Capabilities doesn't mean action. Just because you're capable of doing something doesn't mean you do it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So, they have a military, they have a navy that needs fuel. So they need 60% uranium to be able to fuel their navy. Makes sense that they have it, right? It's a good thing that they have it. Especially right now, where their navy is being used to defend the country from an attack from outside influences. Thank you for walking straight into the fucking point and missing it. Would you like some ice for your head?